Hi guys, this is Supan Bhattacharya. In this video, we'll be discussing about the placement of Pluto in the 12 different houses of your birth chart. Okay, so Pluto is a planet that is associated with transformation. It is also linked with the destruction. It has been given the co-rulership of the sign Scorpio. Okay, so Scorpio is related to transformation, destruction, death, rebirth, secrets. Okay, something which is unseen or the placement of Pluto also will decide if you have any ulterior motives or if someone has any ulterior motives towards you. Okay, that can also be determined by seeing the placement of Pluto in your birth chart. Pluto is also associated with control. So someone who is dominated by the planet Pluto may have a very controlling nature. Pluto is also associated with bravery. In certain conditions, when certain important planets in your chart are with Pluto, or say Pluto is trying to certain important planets in your chart, then you may see that the person is quite brave. Okay, Pluto is also associated with your sexuality and the subconscious mind. Okay, so let's discuss about the placement of Pluto in the various houses of your birth chart. So say suppose Pluto is placed in the first house of your birth chart. This means that you may experience a lot of transformation when it comes to your physique or say looks or your overall personality. You may also possess a lot of personal power and magnetism. So you are someone who's extremely intense and often extremely mysterious. So people are not able to identify uh, your actual personality. That can be seen when Pluto is placed in the first house of your birth chart. Pluto, when placed in the first house of your birth chart, this can make you, someone who is quite controlling or manipulative, and is usually able to manipulate others, and they are quite magnetic, and that makes it easy for them to manipulate others. Okay, so this can bless you with a lot of charisma. So you may become an extremely sought after leader in any profession you are. So there is a lot of magnetism in your personality, and you are very easily able to sometimes deceive people. But yes, when it comes to your emotions, you can also be someone who is extremely volatile. So here you would need to control your impulsive tendencies and make sure you are not too controlling or manipulative towards others. Okay, so the second house is associated with our family, with our resources. Second house is associated with our speech. Okay, so when Pluto is sitting in the second house, the focus becomes on material, resources and self worth. Okay, so you're extremely attached to your family and extremely possessive about your family or resources, the kind of resources you have inherited from your family. Okay, now this can make you obsessed with money and material possessions. Pluto is in the second house of your birth chart. Now Pluto in the second house of your birth chart can make you a successful business person, and there can be a tendency to hoard wealth. Okay, and you can become obsessed with material possessions, and sometimes you can neglect other emotional things when it comes to or emotional attachments, so that you can concentrate on earning wealth. So that can be a possibility with Pluto in the second house of your birth chart. Now the Pluto in the third house of your birth chart. Third house is the house of communication, short travels, our efforts, our siblings, our younger sibling. Okay, so if Pluto is placed in the third house of your birth chart, you may see that this person is intensely curious. So someone who is very inquisitive, someone who is very curious about things. Okay, this person may be a very powerful communicator. So there is a certain amount of magnetism present when it comes to their communication. Okay, they are extremely insightful, but here this person can be extremely argumentative also, and very manipulative when it comes to communicating with others. That is also a possibility when Pluto is present in the third house. This person will have excellent writing skills, where they can write about death or transformations or anything that we can associate with Pluto. So life and death, or say any research work, a research writer, excellent research writer, or an excellent speaker on life and death. So that can be seen with Pluto in the third house. But again, they may also have a tendency to be argumentative or use words to manipulate others. So that is where they need to tone down a bit and maybe not look to manipulate others or be aggressive towards other with when it comes to communication. And this can make this person extremely courageous, because Pluto is also associated with bravery. So this person is extremely courageous and is not worried about any kind of opposition. Okay. Now Pluto in the fourth house. Fourth house is the house associated with our home, family, a mother. Fourth house is associated with emotional well-being, with our mental happiness, emotional security. It is the house that carries the energy of the sign Cancer, because Cancer is the fourth sign in our birth chart. Okay, so now when Pluto comes in the fourth house of your birth chart, so this person can be intensely loyal, because Pluto is the karaka of intensity, and extremely protective towards you know protective of their loved ones or the mother. The mother can be extremely magnetic, powerful, or someone who is very well known in the society, and mother can be extremely dominating as well, when Pluto is in the fourth house of your birth chart. mm, this person can be an extremely can have extreme influence on the atmosphere in the family, or say among the family members. This person would be known as someone who's extremely magnetic, or someone who's extremely controlling or possessive in relationships. Okay, now the mental happiness here also can see a lot of transformations, and some volatile atmosphere can also be expected in the family, and it could really affect the mental well-being of this person. So this person can become mentally extremely aggressive if negative things are happening in the in the family. Now Pluto in the fifth house. Fifth house is the house associated with creativity, romance, and self-expression. It is also associated with education. It is also associated with our intelligence. Okay, and with any kind of speculative activities we indulge in. Okay, now Pluto in the fifth house will make this person extremely passionate. Okay, passionate. The person has magnetic powers when it comes to the creative skills he possesses, or he'll have a very intelligent mind. Okay, someone who is very research oriented, and someone who can like discover something that hasn't been discovered earlier. So that is a possibility with Pluto in the fifth house. This person is again a magnetic person, because it is trine to the Lagna, the ascendant sign. The person is extremely jealous, in romantic relationships. That is a possibility with Pluto in the fifth house. This person is extremely jealous and possessive in relationships. Say, for example, Pluto in the fifth house, the person can be someone who's extremely talented, who's an extremely talented artist or musician. But this person may also, again, because of their jealousy in romantic relationships, may suffer in love relationships, and may see a lot of transformation when it comes to having love affairs, or may have multiple love affairs and remain unsatisfied in romantic relationships. Now Pluto in the sixth house is associated with our routine, with health, work, our debts. It is diseases. Okay, Pluto in the sixth house here will make the person extremely hardworking, someone who's extremely disciplined when it comes to their routine, or say work life. But there will be a tendency in this person to be a perfectionist. So someone who is a workaholic and likes everything to be extremely perfect. Okay, and this can make the person extremely critical towards others, and due to this critical attitude, they may become extremely aggressive towards their colleagues, or say get into fights often. Okay, conflicts often. So that's a possibility with this, with the Pluto being placed in the sixth house of your birth chart. Now, Pluto in the sixth house, this can make someone who's extremely successful in their career fields through their magnetism, or say through their discipline and hardworking abilities, because they are extremely critical of others, sometimes overly critical of themselves and others. Because the sixth house carries the energy of Virgo. Okay, so Virgo is extremely critical, is known for their hardworking abilities, or say meticulousness. So they may get into a lot of conflicts, and that could be one reason where they could face some isolation in the work area. So if they are holding higher posts, they can still manage it, but when they are in low jobs, they may face a lot of issues. Now, Pluto in the seventh house of your birth chart. Seventh house is the house of your spouse, your partnerships, business partnerships, uh, relationships with the opposite sex, your public life. Grandmother from your mother's side is also the seventh house in your birth chart. Okay. Now, Pluto in the seventh house can make this person quite intense when it comes to relationships with the opposite sex, and also this person is extremely passionate. Okay, and can see a lot of transformative experience. Can experience a lot of transformation in their relationships with the opposite sex, and there can be multiple relationships, and they can attract domineering partners. That's a possibility with Pluto in the seventh house. They can be controlling in relationships, or their partner can be someone who is extremely jealous, or someone who likes to dominate these natives, and that could create a lot of rift in partnerships, and this is not a very good position. But the partner is extremely magnetic and maybe socially quite popular. Okay, this will produce a lot of intense relationships, and the person is going to experience the greatest transformations in life through the spouse, or through having relationships, multiple relationships with the opposite sex. In the public life, they are known to be extremely magnetic, very popular. These people are with Pluto in the seventh house, and the grandmother of this native from the mother's side will have a similar kind of personality like their spouse. So the grandmother could be very dominating, or manipulative. So that can be seen from Pluto in the seventh house. The person could be treated as an extremely influential person in the business fields, but can also get into conflicts or fights with their business partners. Now, Pluto in the eighth house. Pluto in the eighth house. Eighth house is the house of your in-laws, shared resources. It is the house of intimacy. It is the house of death. Your longevity also depends on the eighth house and the eighth lord. It is associated with the speech of your spouse. Your spouse's self-worth is also to be seen from the eighth house in your birth chart. Okay. Now, when Pluto is placed in the eighth house, you can become an extremely good astrologer here. Okay, or you may experience a lot of transformations in your life, and sometimes quite unfortunate incidents may happen to you when Pluto is sitting in the eighth house. Okay, this makes you an intense person who is always curious about life and death, who's extremely passionate. Okay, uh, you are a person who's extremely powerful when it comes to forming intimate bonds. Okay, so you can be extremely intense when it comes to getting intimate with your partner. So this can make you obsessive in relationships, or controlling in relationships. You may also get into conflicts with your in-laws. Okay, and there could be some mystery surrounding your in-laws, or your in-laws can be someone who are extremely mysterious or secretive. Pluto in the ninth house. Ninth house is the house of luck, spirituality, long distance travel, higher education, the gurus, your teachers, professors that you meet can be seen from the ninth house. So again, Pluto placed in the ninth house makes you intensely curious about, say, foreign cultures. You are someone who's seen as a magnetic leader in any, say, religious institution, or you're very obsessed with your religion. That can be seen with Pluto in the ninth house. You're extremely philosophical, and can bring a lot of change through your religious beliefs. But there is a tendency to be dogmatic, or being extremely judgmental when it comes to other faiths. So you're obsessed with your own religion, but you're extremely judgmental when it comes to other religions. So that is a problem with Pluto in the ninth house. Example: a person with Pluto in the ninth house might be a deep thinker, or someone who's a philosopher, but again, dogmatic tendencies and judgmental beliefs, judgmental tendencies towards other beliefs could be a huge problem with this individual with Pluto in the ninth house. Their gurus and teachers can bring a lot of transformation in their lives, or they can transform their life through higher education. So they may get into the research field, or say they may get into studies related to foreign cultures, or exploring exploring foreign cultures. That can be seen if Pluto is in the ninth house of luck, higher education, spirituality, or and philosophy. Okay. Now Pluto in the 10th house. Pluto in the 10th house, you may see the 10th house is associated with our career, our public image, our social status. 10th house is also to be seen when how we are perceived in the public, so public image. Okay. So Pluto in the 10th house, this will make you extremely ambitious. You possess great magnetism and power when it comes to your public image. You may also have a lot of abilities to attract masses towards you with the 10th house Pluto. And someone who's known to be extremely powerful, a powerful politician, or say a public figure, a celebrity who has tremendous control over his or her fan following. Okay. But you can be extremely controlling or manipulative as a boss at the workplace. Okay. With Pluto in the 10th house, so you may have an extremely successful career, and someone who gives it all, who's known for his or her bravery when it comes to pursuing a career. Okay. You're very extremely ambitious, extremely hardworking. Okay. You can do extremely well in the research fields or any fields that are connected to life and death. Okay. Scientific fields you may excel in. So it doesn't matter the field you are in, you will possess the power and the magnetism, the capabilities, the skills to excel in your career. Okay. But you need to see that you may also see a lot of transformation when it comes to your career. So sometimes you may also change if this Pluto is working negatively. Okay. You may also change careers often. So you need to focus on one career. Keep your ego aside. Don't be too controlling or manipulative, and that will make you extremely successful in your career and will have a very strong presence in the public. Okay. 11th house is the house of friendships, groups, social causes. 11th house is also associated with humanitarian activities. 11th house is associated with the kind of approach your spouse will have, romantic approach your spouse will have, or the intelligence of your spouse can also be seen from the 11th house of your birth chart. So someone who has Pluto in the 11th house can be seen as someone who is extremely loyal. Okay. And extremely passionate about social causes, humanitarian activities. This person is can be a champion of human rights, who is extremely involved in humanitarian activities and serving others. And this person can bring a lot of transformation in the lives of many, because 11th house is the house of our social life. So this person can have friendships with extremely magnetic and powerful people, but again they can be extremely controlling when it comes to forming connections or networking. But they'll be known as an extremely magnetic person in their friend circle. Okay. Or in the groups they are part of. Pluto in the 11th house will make this person extremely loyal. They either may attract friendships or friends who are extremely manipulative or controlling, or they themselves are extremely controlling when it comes to forming bonds. Pluto in the 11th house can force this native to work in mortuaries, or say work for the underprivileged children, or may force them to work for people who are not seen as to be the part of a normal society. So this person may work for the outcast. Pluto in the 12th house. The 12th house is associated with our subconscious. It is associated with spirituality, isolation, hospitals. It is associated with foreign travels or foreign not residence. Yeah, we can say that. It is also associated with our bed pleasures. Now, Pluto in the 12th house can make this person extremely intuitive. Okay. Empathetic, and this person can excel as a healer. Okay. So they may possess abilities to heal others through their subconscious powers. This person can be extremely secretive, or may find himself or herself withdrawn from the society. Okay. Pluto in the 12th house can also give the tendency to get into relationships with multiple partners, seeking bed pleasure. Okay, so one night stands could be a possibility with Pluto in the 12th house. But if this if this Pluto is working positively, the person can become an extremely wonderful healer, astrologer, doctor, or someone who works in the hospital industry, in the hospitals and taking care of others. Okay. So that can be seen with Pluto in the 12th house of your birth chart. I hope you like this video. Please share the video. Press the like button. Press the bell icon. If you are new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, Jai Shri Krishna. Sayonara. Tata bye bye.